first, I've got a rundown of things.
Baby.
I'm looking down at the screens because I'm reading your chats, because I'm reading my notes right here. But we have a lot of stuff to kind of dump on you guys right here, right now. It's going to be a super exciting day. But what's up, everybody? Let's get into it. First off, I just want to talk about this year. If you guys remember, in January, we came back from Christmas. Wes and Greyson fully recovered from COVID. And we started that Zelda stream, that Zelda Breath of the Wild stream. That was huge. And Breath of the Wild was massive. It was a great start to the year. And I said then that our goal for the end of the year was to get a new office space, to get out of this building. This building that we're in right now is not the best. As a matter of fact, it's dangerous to be in, and we need to get out. We have reached a point in our brand. We have to turn down ideas because we can't physically make the content. We set out by the end of the year to save, to buy an office. I went out to the land this morning, and they're pouring foundation as we speak. They are raking and filling that thing up with concrete. I don't have a date on when we're going to move in yet. I was hoping for some information, but probably like a late December, probably January situation when we'll move to our new office. But this year, what for us and for myself personally was really about validation, and that I could lead a successful brand with the guys and really just champion everything that they want to do creatively. Definitely had our most successful year. We've got more brand deals than we did in the 3 years past. We got a great relationship with G Fuel, kind of working on this thing with NZXT, new spaces coming. We had March to the Top, which we'll no doubt be doing again next year. And, you know, the road trip was huge. Our content's going fucking crazy. We have outgrown not just this space, but this brand. ScrewAttack is, I'll get into this in a second, but ScrewAttack is not us. That's why we're going to let it fade into obscurity forever. On the 29th, right? That's the day. Monday the 29th, you will no longer find us on twitch.tv/GameAttack. Our name is changing, and I can't tell you what it is until Monday, the 29th, when we change it. I am telling you right now, we are rebranding under a new moniker, totally different in every way. You will never see Attack in our name ever again, and I'll tell you why in just a little bit. I'll talk a little bit more about like the psychology behind why we want to rebrand, but I do have a promo right now to give you a hint of what our branding is going to look like moving forward towards the end of the year, and a video made to beat you over the head with the fact that our link is changing on Monday, November 29th, and I don't know if we have that loaded or not, but we do. Awesome. So again, if that video did not convince you, the name changes. Twitch.tv/ on November 29th. We will have a big stream on the 26th. That will be ScrewAttack. As long as you want it. That will be on Friday, November 26th. Really for more like a publicity thing to drive awareness that, hey, the link is changing. And then for about a month past changing the link, we are going to leave all the branding the same, so that whenever you tune into Twitch and you look on the side, you'll still see the ScrewAttack logo. And then we will have a launch day basically for we'll change the avatar and all of the graphics, and we'll change your sub badges and all that stuff. So it'll be like a gradual change, so you'll get it. Let's talk about the psychology why we're rebranding. This is stuff we've all talked about internally. I've talked to people externally about this, and I gotta be honest, all of it has been validated by just about everybody. From talking to G Fuel about rebranding, to talking about my old friends at Rooster Teeth, to talking to peers in the space, everybody's been like, yeah, you probably should rebrand. That's a good idea. I want to talk about the two shadows over GameAttack. The first being ScrewAttack. And this is kind of a shadow for like some of the more hardcore. I would probably say like 20 to 40% of you guys even know what ScrewAttack is. The rest of you guys are new and only know us as GameAttack. I would like to speak on ScrewAttack and our relationship. And the truth is that ScrewAttack is dead. It's been dead for 5 years, maybe longer. And GameAttack, this is also information for you new folks. GameAttack started as an offshoot of ScrewAttack. We started GameAttack because the ScrewAttack audience didn't listen to us anymore. They didn't give a shit about the personalities. They didn't give a shit about content that wasn't Death Battle. I gotta be honest, I was looking for a new job when Craig brought GameAttack to me and said, hey, do you want to go in with me on this? And I was like, yeah, because I'm about to quit ScrewAttack. And having attack in our name was something that like we didn't want from the beginning. We never wanted to be GameAttack, even 4 years ago. The name GameAttack was decided, the logo was decided, the colors were decided by some full screen executives like in an office somewhere. We had pitched all kinds of names, and we were like, hey, we'll always be tied to ScrewAttack if we have attack on our name, and if we call our audience G1s. And neither I nor Craig, for that matter, didn't want that. Not to mention, I'll just use this as an analogy. The ScrewAttack audience was already the hardcore ScrewAttack audience who we were trying to pander to with becoming GameAttack. They were already burnt so bad by that brand that they didn't really even follow us after we became GameAttack, right? Which was fine. That's totally cool. But from the offshoot, we were kind of stuck with GameAttack as a brand. It was just, hey, this is what you are now. And we were like, okay, cool. I'm not saying this to out a community member. I'm saying this because it is a perfect analogy of the shadow that ScrewAttack casts over this brand. We were on the road trip. It's been 4 years since we were part of ScrewAttack at all. I don't know if you guys know this, but like nobody here worked at ScrewAttack except for me, and I only worked there for like 3 years. But anyways, we were on the road trip and we did a meetup, right? And there was a guy there and he was just loped out in ScrewAttack gear. And I was like, okay, cool. And we sat and we ate this with this guy, and he was just making conversation. He was super friendly, and it's not his fault really, but he was just asking so many questions that was just like, you have no clue who I am. That definitely means you don't know who Greyson is. That definitely means you've never watched GameAttack before. So psychologically, I'm like, okay, this guy thinks that probably ScrewAttack probably still exists, and we are some fan-based brand or offshoot of ScrewAttack. Just that interaction was like, man, that to me is the ScrewAttack shadow over GameAttack. It's confusion. It's holding on to something that's never coming back, unfortunately. And it's just, it makes me feel like all the work I've done, and more importantly, all the work that these guys have done as a group, is just It's just like, you're talking about a dead brand, and we're literally touring the country making content around meeting our fans and our community and people that support what we do. And to me, you know, from the fact that from the beginning we never wanted to have attack in our name, to the fact that there is an amount of audience, like a low percentage, that might be confused about that, that is so telling that is a fundamental branding issue that we never had control over, and a big part of why I want to get away from it. So with that, the other shadow, and that is old Game Attack. ScrewAttack is a shadow over the brand of Game Attack. The old Game Attack is a shadow over what we are now. Game Attack started as a Rooster Teeth brand that had a very successful start. It was really great. We had awesome VOD content. We grew pretty quickly on YouTube to about 112,000 subscribers. And then everybody in our office moved to Austin, and we were like, cool, well, we don't have a salary anymore because we left Rooster Teeth because we didn't want to move, and we have to live stream. Chase has talked about this a lot before. I've talked about it a lot before. But our YouTube channel was making about, you know, $500 or $600 a month on when we were at our highest. The most successful channel our YouTube ever was, we were making $600, maybe like $1,000 a month with Mario Party, like really leading the charge. It was obviously not survivable. I could not live on $600 a month. At the time, neither could Craig. We couldn't pay Parker or Chase to work for that. So we switched to live streaming. Live streaming totally killed our algorithm. Any momentum we had, live streaming absolutely killed. YouTube died, and we kind of half-assed tried to wake it up over the course of the past 3 years. But not just that, but there are a lot of audience members, and mostly are on our YouTube channel, and I'm talking to you, YouTube, that think that, well, they don't think that, but they don't care about what we are now. They don't know Chase. They definitely don't know Wes. They might know Greyson a little bit, and they didn't come to Twitch, which is cool, and we stopped making content for them because we couldn't afford to. Straight up. While YouTube's an awesome platform, the fact that we could not invest the time and effort it takes to grow a YouTube channel, it like really suffered. I wish I could do something to wake up that YouTube audience. But unfortunately, that channel is to such a point that our YouTube channel's dead, without a doubt. With that, on YouTube, there's this old audience that really just longs for Chad and Sam to come play video games with us. It's just not gonna happen. Like they'll be like, oh man, it's so cool that, we saw Chad here, and then we're just like, yeah, well, he's in the chat all the time, and Sam came up and we played tactics for like a 14-hour marathon and stuff. And we just can't convince them to come over, which is cool. We do have plans for YouTube, which I'll get into in just a little bit. But even then, still talking about old Game Attack, when we launched Game Attack and we were part of the Let's Play family, we were super entitled and super gimme. We kind of had this misunderstanding of what the Let's Play family was going to be. And honestly, we kind of burned bridges with brands. We've definitely rebuilt them since, as now we're collaborating more than ever. But Smoke, you're incredible. You're incredible. Smoke said, you're incredible. We burnt bridges as Game Attack, like no doubt about it. And as I've found out over the past year, if you apologize, if you humble yourself, you can rebuild. And that's why we've been working with so many people. We're streaming with Jeremy and Michael and, Alfredo and Bruce and Eric Bador, who's probably still in the chat. While that's a small part of it, just getting away from people that want Game Attack to be what it was. And it was only that for like 6 months, which is what's so frustrating, because we've been doing this for like 3.5 years. And they're wanting this thing to happen that just isn't ever going to happen. And instead of trying to pull YouTube, and I'm talking to you again, YouTube, which isn't fair to you guys, trying to pull you and yank you over to Twitch, well, that's what I wish would happen more than anything. You know, totally understand. YouTube's an easier platform to use. It's more efficient with your time. You can pick and you can watch what you want. A 5-hour stream is not going to be the best for everybody. You know what I mean? So being under the shadow of old ScrewAttack and being under the shadow of ScrewAttack, it's so not fair to Chase and Greyson and Wes and Chelsea, who's watching from home right now, and myself, who we work our asses off. And at the minimum, we deserve to have a brand that's us, that's made by us, that we, as the 5 of us, said, hey, that logo looks good. Those colors look good. I like that font. This is what we're named. This is what our, you know, we're not constrained by these old logos and trying to pander to an old audience of a dead brand. This past year, like I said, was about validation. And it being our biggest year is without a doubt a, hey, we don't have to be ScrewAttack to be successful. We can be the brand we want to be. We can be the brand that we've created and we control 100%, and that we can play in and play with. That's a reflection of the content we make. And when people see it, they won't think, oh, it's those guys who are assholes on Tuesday night game fights. It's, oh, what are you laughing at, Wes? You know, it's ScrewAttack, that offshoot of ScrewAttack, which isn't around anymore. And when they see our new brand, whenever we tell you what it is, they can say, hey, that's blank. They're the guys that make that fucking awesome content. And that's all it is. So here comes the tough part. Let's talk about the term G1 for just a second. While the term G1 is important to me, G1 is important to me. It is an important term because I feel like we now, with ScrewAttack, have redefined what G1 means. But G1 is an old term that's been used on the internet for 15 years for another brand. And moving forward with our branding, I want to have a name that's ours. The term G1 is used by people that don't watch our content. I've seen on old Reddit posts and in old Facebook groups and other channels and stuff where it's like G1 for life. And it does, like, I'm not gonna message this person and be like, G1 for life, huh? Why aren't you watching ScrewAttack? That's like, I can't compete with 15 years of nostalgia. I can't compete with, you know, somebody that's identified as a G1 as their fan name for 12 years. People have it in there. You know, you got G1 and Woody Man in there, right? You've got G1 Mr. Locke, yeah. You've got people with G1 tattoos and all that stuff. I'm not going to ask that you stop calling yourselves G1s. I'm just telling you that we will probably stop addressing you with G1s in time as we cultivate a new channel culture and a new community. And I'm sorry, G1 Mr. Locke, that you would have to change your name. You don't have to change your name. Nobody's making you do that. You can keep calling yourself G1 if you want. I'm just saying we want to cultivate a new name for our community. And even though we know what our new brand name is, I don't know what we're going to call our community at all. Yeah, I think that's like a really fun thing that we get to do together. Once you guys hear what we're going to be calling ourselves and see what our branding is like, I think that's something that'll just happen normally. We're not going to call ourselves Rickies or PP. You're going to be the PPs? Oh my god. The PP meetup sounds horrible. Yeah. Okay. So, let's do a revisit real quick. So Monday the 29th, we will change our link. It says twitch.tv/GameAttack right now. It will say twitch.tv/blank, the new name, on the 29th. Whenever you wake up in the morning, you will just need to pay attention to our Twitter and our Discord and look for our logo in Twitch, because we won't be changing any of our visual branding until later in December. We will be our new brand, we will be our new link for a month. Our display name, our avatar, your sub badges, all that shit, it will still be Game Attack branded until later in December. We will have a ceremony, basically, to commence the rebrand in late December. I'll get into the logistic questions in just a second. This also gives us a month of link awareness, and it'll give us time for PETA to settle in. There's also been some delays in our construction, so we're not ready to move in. I was kind of hoping we'd be moved into our new office by November. COVID, supply shipments, you know, there's 8 million ships out in the port holding our steel right now. And it looks like our building could get delayed. My dream was to be the new brand inside the new building on day one. Probably not going to happen, but it gives us more time to prep, get all of our furniture in, all that stuff, and we'll be like absolutely ready to go. There's no doubt that you guys have supported us for 4 years. You guys fund our salaries, health insurance, studio, streams, all that shit, right? But this is the smallest we've ever been. We used to be a little bit bigger on YouTube. We used to have a Patreon and stuff. This is the final stand, right? And YouTube's dead. We don't really use Patreon because it's like we're just not making that content right now. So instead of looking at this Twitch channel as like, oh man, we're boiled down to this, our hardcore Twitch community that actually watches streams, we're going to take this Twitch channel and use it as a seed to grow. We're going to look at this from the start instead of the end. And we're going to expand. We have plans for a YouTube podcast channel that will be long-form podcast content. And our current YouTube channel, not immediately, but probably like a month or two, we're talking like January, February, our current Game Attack YouTube channel will be rebranded as the new name. And that will be like a, I kind of see it realistically functioning like JonTron's channel functions, where it is infrequent, high-quality content that we can make in our new space, right? So it's not going to be like old Game Attack where it's like, here's 7 videos in a row. It'll be the new channel. It'll be, hey, we're doing this big production, custom-made for YouTube, on a big scale, like maybe once a week, you know? And try to grow like that. I've talked to, like, the leading experts in YouTube, and I've talked to Chad James. Both of them said the exact same thing. As a matter of fact, I asked Chad what I should do with YouTube, and he told me I should do this like a year ago. Then I went and I paid the guy who runs Mr. Beast channels like $700 to take a look, and he told me the exact same thing that Chad James said. He said, you need to make a podcast channel. You need to take your current channel, treat it like it has 0 subscribers, because it does have 0 subscribers. It says 100,000. There's no real subscribers on that YouTube channel anymore. That's not a diss on you, YouTube. I'm just saying, to YouTube, to the algorithm, it's not serving anything up to you guys, because we have been in such a bad habit of posting. Our content's sporadic. We have not done a good job of cultivating content that you guys want to watch. Sorry, just want to clarify. It's not because you guys suck on YouTube. It's because we suck at giving you content that you want to watch. So we'll kind of shift and make that to, I don't know what the podcast channel will look like yet. We're developing a couple of ideas, and I don't know frequency or anything, but we will also have a site. Bam, bam. You excited about that, Greyson?
I'm so excited.
We will have a site. We're going to experiment with merchandise. We're going to experiment with embedding, and a little birdie told me we're going to experiment with commission streams. So if Stexon wants to watch, what's that, Oberdin? If Stexon wants to watch Oberdin and pay us basically what a sponsor would pay us to stream an entire playthrough, we'll do it for him. There's a couple of things for us that are changing in the back end financially that is not good financially. So we're going to be coming up with some really fun and interesting ways to try to give you value for your dollar. As we grow, you guys will need to be like our army to go get those YouTube videos and to watch them and to share them. And you guys are kind of like our head start on launching a totally new brand. And whenever we do start posting and we do rebrand our current 100,000 subscribed to YouTube channel, I want you guys to kind of look at that. YouTube. I want you guys to look at that like it has 0 subscribers. Just consider that nobody is following that, and treat it, like it, comment, all that stuff. Really just pretend that doesn't have any followers so we can grow it and get the algorithm to start picking up content on that once again. Yeah, should be cool. All right, we are going to run that promo. We'll flip the chairs real quick, and then we'll be back for San Andreas. And keep talking all day.